Hello, guys. Today is the second episode, so I'm going to talk about my first software engineering experience. So, because I got this job around 2005, and the technology I worked, it's VB6 and SQL. And so, after finishing my high diploma, I tried many software jobs. So I went for few interviews, but this was the interview I've been selected. So and it was a very interesting journey. So once I got this, I can remember one thing. So I need to mention that. So during the interview, so one of the lady who interviewed me, she asked me one question. Can you explain? Can you name few data types? So I was saying that float instead of float, and this is still I can remember. So we were learning that time, right? So those are very fun memories of them about my first job. So once I was selected for my first job, so I came to Colombo and I start doing it. So normally it was like 8 to 5 job, but we were working very hard. So we were sometimes 8:30 to 6:30, and we had a like Saturday half day. So some I did not like it, but had to work that. But that time even it is not a half day, maybe we were working like till 4 p.m. and we work very hard, and we learn a lot of things. The technology wise, it was VB6, SQL, and Access DB were there. And but we had to involve with like I was we were involving in the full cycle, like a development, design, development, sometimes the requirement gathering, the deployment, and especially the customer training. That was the tricky part. Sometimes when you try to train the customer, right? Especially because we were doing different domain like hotel management, payroll, and accounting, as well as some like a different domain. Like I can remember I developed few tape management, tape library system, and also the other system was that broadcast. I've done some changes with the broadcasting and the content management system. So these are very like interesting domain. So I got the opportunity to learn. Like I went there. Sometimes I went alone, not like I got the requirement from them, then I came to this office and I designed it myself, and I built it. I deployed it, and then I've done the client training. So it's like I'm doing everything. We don't have any QA, no. Like we had QAs, yeah, we had few, but sometimes yeah, we've done few QAs, but sometimes not. But it was like mainly us. So and the good thing is like when I can remember the first things I learned was like a hotel management system and the point of sale. We had the front end that was in the restaurant, and the back end the hotel management system and the inventory. So we've done normally the initial things. What we were doing is we've done the deployment. Like we build the like, let's say there's a bug, right? We fix it, then we build it, and we create the exe, and we copy it to the CD, and we write into the CD. Then we went to this the client side, and we deploy there, and then we sometimes we test it, and if there's any new changes or anything, we demo to the client. And that's the deployment we were doing. Like I think that time there were option to do the remote, but we could not do that, and there were very strict restriction. Like we did not have access to the internet. The reason for that is the previous people who work on that company, they stolen their software and they start a new company. So they are thinking that if they give the internet to us, right, what would happen? We will stall. We will steal their the software, and and they wanted to protect that. So from that, it was blocking so many things. Like sometimes I can remember I went to the one of the internet cafe, and I got print out because I had to do some fixes, and I can remember how to do it. I got a printout, and then I came to the office and I have done the fixing, something like that. For that was the bad part. But I mean, the security wise, yeah, for them it's a concern because it's at that time, like let's say if you know the demo, if you have project, maybe someone can start the company, but it's a different thing, right? If you wanted to start the company, but the thing is, yeah, but in many ways it's block us. I mean, we don't have way to learn. Thing is, personal level, that time internet was very expensive, and we were like, I was staying in the boarding house, and we did not have internet, so like it was restricted. So, and so that was the bad part of it. But the thing is, like, mainly when we are developing the VB6 systems, right, we are connecting to a SQL database. And I can remember the one good point what we were doing is, when we are developing the software, right, for when you are handling the transaction, we are using temporary table. For that, what we do, that normally when we are doing a transaction, there's so you select the item, then you click add button, then it will be added into a subgrid where you can have multiple cart items or line items. So these line item we are saving using Access database. So this Access database, so once everything the confirm, right, what you do, you hit the final submission or save button or submission button, right? Until you do that, you are using Access database. So once you are hitting that submission button, after editing, deleting, or whatever you do, right, then we are saving to the SQL database, and we are deleting the data in the Access database. And also, like, it's possible, like, the thing is, you don't access the main database, right? So on the final saving, you access the main database. So it is very easy to manage your transaction, like node wise, different computer, right? So it doesn't need to be a concurrent, and you don't need to save to SQL temporary table, or you don't. I think memory wise, it's we could have done that. I'm not sure about VB6 that time. They were using that technology. Maybe it did not have a memory for the. Maybe I can't remember there was a list or anything. But the thing is, when we are doing this software, right, it is like normally structural way. So, but we were trying to do some, the object-oriented way, like introducing classing and using stored procedure to retrieve data and save data. And one good thing I can remember, when we are doing a payroll system, like, you need to generate the final payment information, like what you call, I can't remember, payfroc or something, payment process. So this payment process was handled from the SQL. There was a very complex stored procedures, and that one, if you need to do any modification, it was a nightmare. But it was the timing wise, it is very fast. The whoever did that, from the processing wise, that was very nice. Like when you hit that process, it's regenerating again, and it will include into a tables, so you can get print out. So we had a very good client. I can remember we were doing for the KPMG, the partner system. So I've seen the salaries of these partners. Like at that time, I can remember, like, oh, they are getting a big salary. So the thing is, for them, right, for that one of the partners, right, he had only one laptop, and he installed in his laptop the payment software, and he doesn't want anyone, even his secretary, to see that. So he's managing. So that's why I think it's very confidential. So I got the opportunity to work with like these people. So it was very experienced. Initially, that person was very tough. I can remember he was very tough, and he was asking some question, all those things. So then okay, I was fixing salary for him. So so it was a very nice experience. So mainly this job I work on VB6. That time the .NET was there, but that company was not using it, and mainly the desktop development. But the thing is, what we learn, especially the requirement wise, and also the designing wise, and also the training wise, how we should be interact with the users. Like especially if you are doing a training with the restaurant users and hotel users, or even the accounting users, different, you get the different, I mean, you get straight feedback from them. They were saying, oh no, I don't want to use it, is not user friendly, change it. So sometimes we have to change the system. So we're asking how you prefer, so we get the feedback. So like sometimes we do not have UX engineer, UX again, especially the UX engineers for Windows system. So like I'm thinking this code is the first text box, then the name, likewise, right? We can develop. So it's the way I think. But sometimes we get the experience, then we design it. So it was very nice experience. So in that company, mainly we learn a full software life cycle, like from the requirement to the design to the deployment to the client training. And yeah, so everything I learned from this company. So after that, after finishing that company, so I joined to the another company. That company name is was Aclo. So they are doing web system, and they are using a .NET and also the C Sharp, especially the C Sharp that time, and also ASP.NET. So ASP. So from that I got the experience of web development. So, and we had one architect who joined from one of the reputed company, and he knew interest different design pattern, different different things. Like we were using we were trying to use different design patterns, and also it was very helpful for us to work with very they have a very good experienced people, like who before that the people who work in the different very reputed company, and they had very good knowledge about the things. And I got few friends who are like, it's like and it was like second home to us. Sometimes we work very late and we get the office transport, and sometimes we had our dinner in from the office, then we go because we had very strict deployment, I mean very strict deadlines, and we had to follow that. So we work very late, but it was like a home to us, so we were not worried about it. Sometimes we like to work late, and sometimes yeah, it was very good experience. From there I learned uh, SPNet and the C Sharp, and also it was my first web development experience. I think I work around the first company I work around 1.5 years. This company I worked more than 2 years, I believe. So then the different, like we were doing university management system, and also I was doing accounting. So I the good thing is I got the opportunity to learn accounting. So I didn't I before that I learned bit, but this time I had to do full accounting system. So like direct not direct debits. So it's in the UK, you have direct debit, what you call that, debit and credit, and also profit and loss, and bank reconciliation, and direct note, and so many features were there. So these features, I mean, you should have very good domain knowledge of the accounting system. That's helped me to how important it is for us to understand and know the domain when we are developing a software. Because sometimes people, right, we get the requirement from business analysts, so they give and we build it. But if you know the domain, right, then you can think about the thing you can improve, and you understand. Sometimes I can remember we are doing for one of the university, and one of the university of Singapore, and also the one of the university in Sri Lanka. So that university, so like we done the deployment, and we had to do the like 3 months we had to stay in the client side, and we had to do the we were doing development, and if there's any issue we fix it and we deploy, and we had to do the client support. So these users, the government users, they were like, sometimes they had very different questions, like professors, and from the bursars, and also the accounting persons and the clerks. So they ask different question we got. So sometimes they ask the accounting question. If you don't know the domain, right, you can't answer it. So we had to learn it, and we had to know everything about accounting. So, and it helped us, and and the technology wise we use the different thing, different way, improvement and batch processing, and so many things you had to do. Yeah, but you need to learn this. But the important thing is, it's very important for to understand the domain. You can build something, but it won't be the perfect system. I mean, you can't build the perfect, but it won't be user friendly system. And also sometimes, if you are not designing the system without thinking about this without having a good domain knowledge, it might you might not have provision in the future. Sometimes your design will not be good. I will not be perfect. So if you have that domain and experience, that would help you to develop a system with a very good understanding. So these are the things we've done in my second company. So, and I don't want to talk about the third company today, but mainly the things experience, right? I like to the reason why I'm doing this video, right? It is a PO video. I don't want to edit it. I just want to express my idea and just talk through and tell what are the things we learn. Like we started like maybe 15-20 years ago, and still, right, we are working, and the things we learn we are still we're using it, and I don't want to say that okay we are perfect, but the things we learn still we can use it. I mean, especially the development level, right? Still I believe even though we are working in company in the UK or Singapore, I work, still the most of the things doing by developers. We have a BA, we have QA, we have project manager, so many roles we have. Still, let's say if there's a bug, right, in the production, the P1 or severity 1 issue, it will directly come to the developer. I mean, it won't go to the QA or business analyst. If it's go to that, right, them, right, it will take some time, but they will ask, can you check? So then if you're going to check that issue, you should have that understanding of the system. And also, let's say if it is a quick fix, if you fix it, what would happen? Will it break other feature? So if you do not have this background, right, so then it's very hard to do any fix. Let's say you have architect or whoever know the system, then you can talk to them. But mainly developer, senior developer, or team lead, or soft, I don't know, architects are doing the development, but whoever doing the development, they need to, it doesn't matter which system you are doing, whatever the system you are working on, that you try to learn the system, try to learn the domain, try to understand the domain. And let's say you done your changes and you deploy for the quality assurance, QA or QC, quality control, or mainly we use QA, quality assurance team, right? So then you give the demo to them how it is working, and at the end you will write wiki, and you will explain how you done things, how the changes has been done, and what are the things you've done, and what are the things you need to do, what are the test data. And you can share your unit test. You have written the unit test and using these other scenarios you covered and everything you can. But still you need to know the system. As a developer, you need to know the system and the domain. And even sometimes the business analyst or solution architect, mainly the business analyst, right, project manager, they will ask you to join for the client call. So then client will ask some domain question, not mainly the technical question. So sometimes when the requirement gathering or designing phase, or what we call in the agile world spike, right, spike or discovery when you are doing. So initial time when you are showing them your spike, this is how I've done. And you can say technically I've done, I've developed something, I've created a batch job, and I finish it, and then I wait for some time, so I've done this, blah, blah, blah. You can say that. But the important thing is when you are talking to client or whoever, project manager, business analyst, QA, if you know the domain, if you know the system, and it is very easy. So that's what I'm saying. For developer who will be listening this, think about it, try to learn this. So you actually, sometimes it's very interesting when if you're doing a software development, right, you need to learn the accounting, payroll, and the inventory. What you will learn so many different domain. That means you know the system, you know how they are processing, I mean how they're day-to-day operation. You can ask this question. It's very interesting. Like, yeah, maybe one person try to do this way, other person. So you will work with a UI UX engineer. So then they will try to develop the system in a more user friendly. You can give your input to them. They will try to get it. But yeah, I know it's very important to have different roles. But still, the developer, the engineer, software engineer will play very important role. So if you are doing that, try to learn the domain, try to talk to the people who knows the system, business analysts or whoever, and try to join client calls if possible and talk to them, get the feedback. And during UAT or UAT demo, use acceptance demo, right, or QA demo, try to talk with them and how you feel it. Do you think any improvement do you want, or like is it okay this screen? Do you need any changes? Do you think the way we arrange the button or the layout, is it user friendly for you? Get the input, and if you can do a small change, sometimes even if it is a 1 second, it will save the time. Let's say one person doing the data entry job for like maybe he might enter, I don't know how many times he will use the same. So if you try to help him, if you arrange the text boxes or button, or if you try to help him like a focus event, you get something. And if you want to avoid timeout, or if you want to improve performance, even if you're doing that, try to improve 1 second. That would save some time. Think about the people. If you can save some time, now there are AI and so many things, right? So it would say that the people who are doing this day-to-day operation, like, they might lose their job, but that's the future. But for now, let's say you are not going to introduce RPS, robotic process automation, or something, RPA or RPS, whatever. So you are not going to introduce it. So you are trying to save. If you save that time from that person, right, he can use it. Maybe he can relax, or he can have coffee, or he can use that time to do very meaningful thing rather than you doing a repetitive job, right? Maybe you can support him data import. Try to support him doing some data import, add it to Excel, import to the system, then add validation rule to a system. You can validate it. Just try to save some time from the users. Think about that. So that's one of the things we learned during my career. So today I like to stop, but let's continue with another session. And I wanted to share a few companies experience, Sri Lankan, Canadian, and also Singapore and the UK. So hope this is helped. And just I wanted to talk through it. And see you in the next video. Bye.